All right, how are you doing today? I'm going to be reading from a book called Man's Higher Consciousness. We're going to flip back and forth here by Hilton Hotema. The first portion I'm going to talk to you about, we're going to flip around a little bit, is the kingdom of God and the uncanny powers of Indians. We already spoke a little bit about what they like to call the third eye or the sinus. There's a part of you that receives direct revelation if it is clean. Okay, so no nasal crap in there at all. No, I mean, even when you're breathing, the reason why you breathe out CO2 is because your mouth, your nasal, and your colon are directly connected. So you can't receive divine revelation with all of that dookie in you. You can receive pieces of it from the atmosphere if you have been fasting and stuff like that. Okay. All right. So back to this here. Let's go ahead and start reading. The kingdom of God within. Okay. So we already learned about the small glands, the intellectual organs located in the skull, near the point where the nose joints, the forehead, are activated by the mental spirit that passes through the nostrils into the sinuses. And when they are normal and functional, they coordinate and collaborate with the senses. This is the chief spiritual intelligent center of man. Okay? So they call it a third eye, whatever. I would call it a third, I would call it like a second heart or something, because you cannot really absorb any power until you walk through that thing. It's not going to be something that you just learn from someone or read in a book, which is why the ancient Egyptians, they had so many physical things stolen from them, but Alexander the Great and all these people could not steal the power, which is why they're constantly trying to understand things that really don't work too well. The medical philosophies are fuck ass. They're way off. Different philosophies are just way off. Okay. All right. So let's keep reading. All right. Now, the kingdom of God within. In wild birds and beasts and the wild natives that have not been tainted and tinged by the blessings of civilization, so-called blessings, these spiritual centers are functionally developed, and modern science attempts to explain the uncanny powers of these creatures by asserting that they are guided by instinct. But we are not told what instinct is, but it is basically intuition or a sixth sense. If a hunting dog be kept in the house and breathe the polluted air, the same as the members of the family, in time the nerves in the nose and sinuses become dull, so that dog will no longer be able to sense danger, trouble, none of that stuff. But that's because the dog is so filthy. Now, a person like myself who does enemas, I can pretty much sense a lot of things that are going on. Okay, what the plan is spiritually for people to recover from what the damage that has been done to civilization through the medical industry and the killing entities and the different organizations that are trained to kill, perform acts of killing, and the use and the purposes of medication. The purpose of medication is over a period of time instant death. So you would have died at 90 or 100 years old, even the way that you eat, which is very unnatural, which is why you have to help your body get rid of the waste, because it's not natural. You breathe in air, it comes right back out. You're good when you have air. All right. And even some types of water. Now, let's go ahead and continue reading. Hopefully you heard everything I just said, because I have to move quickly. All right. Now, so the dog loses its keen sense of smell and is unable to trail game. Like causes produce like effects. Some wild tribes are found that still possess the peculiar powers of wild birds and beasts. The polluted air of civilization has not reached them yet. Now, this is not preaching. This is just giving his perspective of this specific teaching. And their centers of cosmic intelligence are not dormant and rendered practically useless by the destructive action of polluted air in which civilized man lives and labors from birth to death. Uncanny powers of Indians, according to innumerable observations and historians, as well as Indian tradition. Now, some people would beg to differ with this because their senses are very dull. Spaniards, okay? They arrived to take over South America. They found that the Indian races had an uncanny and supernatural ability for conveying and receiving accurate information over long distances. Do you understand that? So being able to telecommunicate. If we are to credit the apparently unvarnished accounts, it was as remarkable in its way as wireless telegraphy or mental telepathy. So so it's just as incredible as that, as me being able to relay a message to you over this YouTube. It's just as incredible as that. Some people are not even going to watch this video, but they already understand what I'm about to be explaining here. All right. So an Indian could and often did know exactly how many men or horses were approaching long before they could be seen or heard. So that's kind of like an instinct, psychic ability, whatever you want to try to call it. And you've got a lot of people who fake like they're, psychic and stuff. So the last little paragraph, Dr. Juan Durand, who devoted many years to a study of Indian history, traditions, and life, personally witnessed such feats. So being able to tell where or when and what direction a friend or an enemy was traveling, that kind of a thing. Okay. And so then that's probably what alarmed a lot of people in the beginning, was the fact that they didn't know that these Indians knew they were coming. So let's go back to, we're not even going to go to magnetism yet. You're not ready for that yet. We're going to go to the introduction. Here's the introduction, okay? So we got to talk about a little bit of the science aspect, the chemical aspect of this thing first, okay? Introduction. The living cell is animatized by cosmic force. Cosmic force, right? So that's talking about people. Here's the next part that says, the body cells are seen and to understand numerology, geometry, physiology, and biology act conceitedly for the good of the whole, the entire universe, right? Okay, let's keep reading. Go back to the beginning. The human body is a mass of trillions of cells guided by infinite intelligence. So having all of this electricity, each cell is a mass of millions of atoms. Okay, this is something that was also brought up clearly, very clearly in the book, The Stolen Legacy. All right, the one that they murdered that man because they were jealous or whatever they wanted to, whatever happened. Each of which is a miniature solar system. Okay, so even the atoms, the cells, the atoms. Then you've got what? With planets in the form of tiny electrons whirling at tremendous speed around a common center of attraction. So we are not just bodies, right? We are all connected to each other. We are whirling centers in the ether, okay? And also on top of that, as a whole, talking about the entire universe, I like to explain the fact that when a person died millions of years ago, hundreds of thousands of years ago, because we're not dictated, we're not chained and locked in based on white history. We are free to be able to understand ultimately eternal history. You understand that? Okay, so what we do is we look at the fact that a person who was a giant or a person that was enormous, okay, because we eat ourselves down so small until we become a small animal or a small creature or a maggot or a roach or whatever, okay, in our next life. So what happens is a huge individual dies, okay? And when they come back as millions of individuals. So they come back as lots of individuals, not just one person. So when you feel that connectedness or your intuition is telling you, I'm connected with these people, and especially if you are of the household of faith and you have understood, wow, I have this connection with these people, you ought to know that that is a historical eternity. Many people refer to that as heaven. Now, if you are physically related, your soul is related to these people, then that means that you'll be able to, you ever seen somebody that you never met before in your life, and these Indians, they could probably do this. They could probably say, that's going to be my wife. That's going to be my spouse. I mean, they'd probably be able to be just that strong with senses that are pure. You understand what I'm saying? So we are all connected, okay? So we don't want to leave people out, be mean, bash each other. We want to definitely point out what is happening to each person, because like I said, I have Caucasian friends who do enemas every day like myself, 16, 20, maybe even 30 years. And they're a lot cleaner than some African American folks. So you can't say that black blood, because you got black skin, is cleaner than white blood because you got white skin. No, not exactly. Okay, because what people are doing is they are hiding many things, and not on purpose, but your body has a tendency to mastermind the ability to hide toxic things that could kill you just from the smell of it. Which, what does that mean? When I did the enema and I eliminated all of this stuff during a 7-day fast, that I was like, I didn't eat anything. I didn't drink any water. I didn't do anything. So how did all that get in there? It was just there, because eating is an unnatural process, which is why we must aid the body in eliminating the garbage that we are addicted to. Okay? So let me continue reading. I'm only going to read this last portion just to let you know what has been the holdup in your church, in your business, whatever it is. You need to free yourself of the waste. So the solar system has no use for food. Let's go back. It says, each cell is a mass of millions of atoms, each of which is a miniature solar system with planets in the form of tiny electrons whirling at tremendous speed around a common center of attraction. Now, the solar system has no use for food. The electrons do not eat. The atoms do not eat. The cells do not eat. Why should man eat? Man should eat because he needs to keep pressing the doo-doo down. That's why man should eat. Okay, and that's why I endure 3-month fasts, because it's so much easier to fast without getting skinny, without that waste in you. That's what's killing a person, is what's already in them, not something from the outside trying to kill them. Now, the parent cell. And it's also a reactionary thing. Like I said, we are very connected. So if we are very connected, then a person who is about to murder you, or who has the ability to just come in and murder you, you have no protection around you, no nothing spiritually. That's because it is a direct cohesion between what the chaos on the inside of you and what is coming your way out of, basically, some people have regret. Some people have a tendency to stop their own success, spiritually, supernaturally, by doing what the norm is, by taking medication, whatever they want to do. And then boom, here comes this chaos, this argument, this thing, because we know what foods, especially dead animal, can do in a system. It can cause chaos, disease, and lots and lots of sluggishness and faintness and blood as the result. Okay? Now, shedding of blood. So, the parent cell begins the body, okay, of man, and expresses the uncanny intelligence which it inherits from the cosmic principle of creation. This cell does not come from food and does not depend on food. But the body is not the product of food and should not depend on food. Now, if you want to eat food, make sure you remember eating is a luxury. And if you are in a filthy system where you cannot get all that doo-doo out, you are in an emergency to continue eating. Do you understand that? Okay. All right. Eat as much as you can to try and push that stuff down, but try your best to get it out without using food and gravity. Food cannot sustain what it cannot produce. As the body is not the product of food, it is actually not sustained by food, because we're composed of mostly what? Cells. We have tissues because our body does what? It goes from liquid, solid, gas. It has 3 different forms. It's not just one physical body. If it were, then we would not be able to, there would not be this vaporization process when we die. Okay? Now, food is, our bodies are sustained. So you want to dump some food into the mouth of a dead person, honey, that's not going to bring them back to life nor sustain them. Nothing is going to happen. A person who's half dead, do you want to stuff them with food? You think that's going to bring them back to life? It is not. Okay, we are full of electricity, and only electricity works, okay, to do the best of what we need it to do. All right. So, now, infinite intelligence works in the cell, from the parent cell on through the entire existence of the body, being directed by infinite intelligence. The cells know spontaneously the functions they are to perform in the construction and maintenance of the body. The innate intelligence of the part of the cells must play in the whole body is a mode of being of all the elements of the body. Okay, these elements know their work and can receive no aid from human hands. We hopefully understand that. Now, we just read this part about how the body, okay, is the body cells are, seen to understand numerology, geometry, physiology, and biology, and act conceitedly. Sorry about my volume. For the good of the whole. Now, the spontaneous tendency of the cells toward the formation of the organs of the body is a primary datum of observation. What does that even mean? So the spontaneous tendency of the cells toward the formation. Okay, so basically, as your organs are forming, even when you're a baby, your cells are doing the activity. People call that the hand of God. People call that, divine intervention. People call that whatever they want to call it. But your cells are working very hard to form different things, avenues in your body that are needed. Okay, so, excuse me. The body from the parent cell on is built by techniques and directed by intelligence entirely foreign to the best scientific minds. From the parent cell composed of invisible atoms and out of the invisible essence of the universe in the infinite air, which contains all in itself, the body and its organs come into being by the work of cells endowed with infinite intelligence. Now, when you think of a cell, I don't want you to think about blood cells, any type of physical cell. I want you to think about the sun. I want you to think about electricity, fireballs, okay? I don't want you to continue thinking that everything is animalistic and physical, okay? Because you are a human. You understand what I'm saying. You understand intelligence, okay? And you are made of so much lightning that you don't even really want to admit it. Okay, so let's continue reading now that you understand that. Okay, just keep in mind that, like, when you hear the word cell, think about electricity and think about the sun. Okay, so the body from the parent cell on is built by techniques and directed by intelligence entirely foreign to the best scientific minds. From the parent cell composed of invisible, that means that your cells are doing all of this, communicating with your body without even thinking, okay? You don't have to sit down and read a whole 3,000 story book, okay? It's already doing the work without you educating it on what to do and how to do it. From the parent cell composed of invisible atoms and out of the invisible essence of the universe in the infinite air, which contains all in itself, the body and its organs come into being by the work of cells endowed with infinite intelligence. The cells prove by their work that they possess the prevision of the future structure. Okay, do you understand the prevision? That's talking about kind of like prophecy or foretelling. Okay, so kind of like telling, seeing the future before it happens. That's gonna blow up. This is gonna happen. I saw it in a dream, or I saw it in a vision. Now, if that person's senses are clean, you need to freaking listen. You might that building might just blow up. Okay, so the cells prove by their work that they possess a prevision of the future structure. Okay. And that's how you develop. You develop from a baby to an adult, okay? And then your body is trying. When you turn 45 and 50, it's trying to get you back young again. And as you fight against that, your body starts to deteriorate because of the poisons and the different things that are inside of there, just causing you to fall apart, and then sometimes you envision yourself being healthy because by more eating, I'm going to get more healthy. And your body is saying, no, I don't know what to do with all of this shit. Why do you keep putting this in me? I don't know what to do with it. All right. Because eating is what? An unnatural process. Okay. So the cells prove by their work that they possess a prevision of the future. Okay. And its purpose. And they synthesize from the atomic substance that appears to be contained in the plasma, so the blood, okay? Not only the building material, but also the builders, the DNA, okay? You understand that? And the different blood chains that you have in your body that are very useful, okay? The trillions of cells forming the body are tiny suns and stars. Now you got it, okay? Electricity, fireball, okay? Like me moving around. That has nothing to do with food. That has nothing to do with food, okay? Nothing. That's all electricity, okay? And anything that slows that down probably has something to do with old junk in your system that you never let out. So the trillions of cells forming in the body are tiny suns and stars composed of the same cosmic essence and governed by the same cosmic law. A droplet of water forms a tiny microcosm containing a great variety of cosmic chemical elements. The body cell is practically a duplicate of a water droplet. Okay, so that's why they always say we're full of water. But look, because we move so smoothly. We don't move like a tree or a leaf. We move smoothly. We even have smooth skin, okay? Supposed to, if we're not eating a bunch of garbage. I mean, hoarding a bunch of garbage. I need to stop saying that because then people start becoming anorexic and crazy and stuff like that. I don't want you to go down that path. If you want to fast, you want to go down that path, do a 2-day juice fast, okay? For fruit juice or vegetable juice as much as you want. You can even do a thick puree and drink it down, and then do an enema, at the end of the night before you go to bed. A big one, a big bag of lemon and distilled water, and just let it all out, okay? For 2 days. Don't be trying to do crazy stuff, okay? So eating is going to be your friend. You're just going to learn how to eat scientifically, how to eat correctly for your physiology type. So the body cell is practically a duplicate of a water droplet, but raised to the high plane level of divine animation, because we are not just water, but we are earth, air, fire, and water. Boom, gotcha. Right? So if the cells depend on food, I'm so silly. Sorry about that. Be serious, Angela. If the cells depend on food and drink, man should continue to grow and live as long as he had sufficient food and drink. But that's not always the case, is it? The biggest humans on this earth, man, they are doing what? Putting out their own fire and polluting their own water and disintegrating their own earth body, okay? And polluting their own air. So, does that help? Obesity, that's what it's doing, okay? Now, according to the press of May 27th, 1937, Srimati Bala of Bankura, India, age 68, had taken no food nor water since she was 12. The account said, she is always gay or happy, and looks like a child. Do you understand this? Okay, so what is possible in one case is possible in millions of cases. Do you understand that? So we need to basically take our understandings, and we need to enlighten ourselves by opening up our horizon. Millions, billions, trillions, unlimited, infinity, eternal. We need to start thinking on that level if that's where we want to go. Now, if you want to keep going 1, 2, 3, wait a minute, let me get up the first step, like an old lady in her walker. Let me just go take the first step. Once I get past, no, you can't do that. Okay, you're going to have to expand your horizon. You're going to have to say, well, if I need to do all of that to get back to that, then I need to get started now. And I need to be consistent. Each day, I need to do day number 1. And I need to cover every area. Day number 2, fasting or fruitarian, vegetarian, or meatless Mondays, carnivorous eating, whatever. Day by day. But don't wait. Don't sit back and say, well, I don't give a damn. Mother Earth is going to say, if you don't give a damn, then I don't either. If you tell God one day, I don't give a damn, you know what he's going to say? I'll keep trying. because God loves us. It's totally different than Mother Earth. Mother Earth is kind of hard and mean, and that's where we get the sickness from and different stuff that happens to us because she's hard on us. Now, I've found her to be my buddy because why? I'm able to abide by her laws. I'm not killing, I'm not stealing, and I'm not destroying. I'm doing these enemas every day, and I'm healing myself, okay? And like I told you, I don't use a little tiny, pew, you know, I fill up this bag. If all I have is water, I fill this bag up 3 times. Sometimes I don't empty out until I have inserted 2 whole bags. Because, why? Because I have learned this process over a period of 16 years. So over a period of 16 years, now it's kind of making 100% sense. At first, I was kind of going by faith. Like, that's working. Plus, I just saw a whole bunch of stuff going to the toilet. I had to flush it 3 times because it was so full. I had to stand up. Okay. And I had no food, no water, 7 days. And all I did was an enema to get it out. Lemon enema with water, distilled water, warm in that bag. Not the same bag. I've bought many bags since then. I'm sorry. 16 years. Come on. All right. And I watched it, and then I saw myself have more energy. So it's no longer me just reading a book saying, so what is that talking about? If I keep eating this, it's going to be better. If I eat that. No. What Arnold Ehret's talking about, what Hilton Hotema is talking about, what all the intelligent people who were getting endowed with wisdom are talking about is remove that shit. If you can do it, get it out. That way you can radiate again. You can be young again. You can be free. Like, you don't have to be living like that. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, you don't have to live like that. You don't have to work out every day. Like, you can just live and be free. Okay? And that's not even showing all my curves. That's a dress. Like, I haven't even put on the swimsuit yet. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to live like that at 35 or 40 or whatever age you are. I'm 35. I'll be 36 next year. And I'm not trying to rush my age, but I'm trying to rush it so that people can be like, you know, like, damn, she's that old. Wow, damn. Well, if I do this, then, you know, that'll really help me. I don't know how to explain it. So again, that's the end of my reading. I'm just doing one at a time, basically. I'm going to start with the introduction, and we're going to go straight through the book. Okay, it's going to probably take us a year or 2 years. I don't know. But if you want to go ahead and follow, I'm right here. I'm going to take you step by step because I got some wisdom under my belt about how to walk it out, not just reading and trying to comprehend through like some other definitions and this. We're actually practicing this whole third eye thing. All right. So nobody taught me any of the stuff that I'm telling you. It's just coming to me. Got it? Ding, ding. All right. We will continue this one tomorrow. All right. So be looking out for the next video. Hopefully you enjoyed. Peace.